An OG back from the very beginning of Medarot's history back in Medarot 1. It is the iconic and first ever original Penguin type. It is PEN00 Pinguen, with a kit of triple restore, sea legs, and the leg ability of Fix Plus, which buffs the heat and cool stat of equipped parts when using a healing skill. Now, as a model that's not only iconic, whether that be to a rookie Medarotter or a veteran alike, Penguen's a model that's also available in the permanent banner of Medarot S's gacha pools, which means you're going to be very easily seeing this Penguin type a good number of times in pretty much any other gacha pool you'll shoot from, whether that be the friend point whether that be the limited pickups or even the collab banners. So this will be a pretty common model to see here and there as you make your pulls. Restore on all three parts is a healing skill that, when triggered, will choose one broken part, or the broken part if it's only one, of herself or an ally, and restore it back to 10% HP. Now, this is completely regardless of whatever the healing mastery is on her medal, because restore skills such as restore, all restore, revive, rebirth, and so on are fixed to only bring it back at 10% HP. But if you want to use the argument, you most certainly can counter that with it's better to have the part at almost nothing than not have it at all, which most likely will save you from a good number of clutch moments that could very possibly turn the tides in your favor. The Fix Plus leg ability also does tie in very nicely, as it means that she will have very solid base speed when using pretty much any of her parts, given that they're all basically the same skill. Armor across the board is rather light, but also kind of to be expected for a female model. A head HP of about 2950, arms about 2350 each, and the legs at 3400 means that she is going to be rather light on the armor, especially when it comes to the arms in particular. But given that the arms may have light armor, having decent armor on the legs and the head does mean that even if an arm goes down, all she really has to do is just trigger the head skill and kind of bring one back and then fix the other. So kind of a infinite loop situation depending on how you look at it. For leg stats, I was honestly genuinely surprised when I sat down and looked at them, because compared to most other conventional or basically common sea legs that you would see, Penguins are one of those ones that actually isn't too bad. A mobility of 615 is kind of on that middle tier where sea legs tend to sit, so nothing overly impressive there, but it is packing an evade of 1747, which is very nice and also par for the course of sea legs having a high base evade. However, she is also packing a melee resist of 1026 and a shoot resist of 1008, which means she actually has some pretty solid and relatively decent damage reduction across the board for any hits that do tend to actually hit her, whether she grazes them or she just outright tanks the blow. All this being said though, as a pure set score, I still do very unfortunately have to rate Pinguen a very flat 2 out of 10. And the reason for this is because out of all of the part restoration skills we have in the game, restore, all restore, rebirth, revive, and so on, restore is probably going to be the least useful for the very reason it only brings back one part. Now, that's probably me being spoiled, because we have all these ones with all restore or field restore, whatever of the like, that restores a lot of parts at once. And I'm not saying that restore itself is objectively bad, but compared to other bots that we have currently in the game, there's certainly better options to pick from. Plus, having it on all three parts does greatly hinder Penguen's overall viability on the field, as if there's really no parts broken or anything to fix, there's not really a reason for her to be on the field, unfortunately. As mixed parts though, I do very easily have to bump up that rating to about a 5 out of 10. As I mentioned, her leg stats are actually pretty solid even if they can only support one heavy part, and even though it is also worth noting that as a sea leg herself, she is subjectively weak to the anti-sea skill that anyone might come packing with. But if you are able to pair that leg with, say, one arm of restore, or repair, or field repair, or charge repair, or any other healing base skill that you could possibly fit in a team, you could very easily capitalize on that bonus and get a passive boost to heat and cool, which will guarantee even easier that you'll be able to take your turn faster and possibly even outrun an opponent just long enough to restore HP and save your ally.